The stranger among them, the human opened his eyes to a sky that was not his own. Above him, tall towers glowed with strange blue light. The air felt heavy, almost alive. Around him stood creatures tall, thin, their skin shining like polished stone. Their eyes glowed softly, and their voices were whispers carried on the wind. He sat up quickly, heart racing. His clothes were torn. His body ached. He remembered nothing of how he had come here. Where? Am I? He whispered. The aliens turned toward him. Their whispers grew louder, like the rustle of leaves in a storm. Some pointed. Others stepped back in fear. He stumbled to his feet, confused and scared. Every face around him was different, eyes too bright, skin too smooth, movements too slow, as if time itself moved differently for them. I don't belong here, he sighed, his voice shaking. The crowd grew silent. The words seemed to echo through the alien city. From the shadows of the tall towers, something moved. The crowd parted, bowing low. Their glowing eyes dropped to the ground. She was taller than they. Rest, her presence heavy, commanding. Her skin shimmered with silver light. Her crown made of living crystal that pulsed like a heartbeat. Her eyes deep, ancient, knowing fell on the human. The human froze. His breath caught in his chest. It was the alien queen. The whispers stopped. Silence filled the air. The queen walked slowly toward him, every step graceful, yet heavy with power. When she stopped before him, she tilted her head, studying him as if he were both a puzzle and an answer. The human's voice broke. Wait, I don't belong here. For a long moment, the queen said nothing. Her lips curved into the smallest of smiles. Her eyes, sharp and gentle at the same time, locked on his. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was soft, but it carried like thunder. Yes, you do. The human's stomach twisted. The crowd murmured again, this time in awe. He shook his head. No, I'm human. I don't even know this place. I'm not one of you. The queen stepped closer, close enough that he could see his reflection in her silver eyes. You are not here by mistake, she said. This world has been waiting for you. He stepped back, panic rising. That's impossible. The queen's smile widened, but it was not cruel. It was the smile of someone who knew something he did not. The human's chest tightened. His heart hammered like a drum. He looked around, hoping for a way out, but the alien city stretched endless in every direction. There was no escape. Why are you saying this? He demanded. I don't even know who you are. The queen turned her head slightly, her crown glowing brighter. You will learn, in time. Her words were calm, but they only deepened the storm inside him. His mind screamed to run, yet his body stayed frozen. It was as if her presence alone held him still. Around them, the aliens began to kneel. One by one, they lowered their heads to the ground. Not to her, but to him. The human stumbled back, shaking his head in disbelief. No, this isn't real. The queen raised a hand, and the crowd silenced again. Her silver eyes glowed brighter. You say you don't belong, she whispered, but your blood says otherwise. The human's heart skipped a beat. My blood? She nodded slowly. You carry more than you know. That is why you are here. He felt cold, as if the ground had fallen away. He wanted to argue, to shout, to deny every word. But deep inside, a question burned. What if she was right? The queen stepped even closer, her voice low, meant only for him. You belong to this place, and this place belongs to you. Whether you accept it or not, the truth will find you. Her words wrapped around him like chains. The human trembled. He could feel the eyes of the entire city watching, waiting. He wanted to scream. He wanted to run. But instead, he stood there, staring at the queen, trapped by her smile, her words. and the strange feeling rising in his chest. For the first time, he wondered if he really was a stranger here, or if somehow this alien world was calling him home. Asterisk the Queen's secret. The human stood frozen, his breath sharp in his chest. The Queen's words still echoed inside his mind. Yes, you do belong. He wanted to argue, but the silence of the alien crowd pressed down like a heavy weight. Every glowing eye watched him, as if waiting for him to move, waiting for him to accept something he did not understand. The Queen turned, her long silver cloak flowing like water. "Follow me," she said, not as a request, but as a command. The human hesitated. His instincts screamed to run, yet his legs moved forward, pulled by something deeper: fear, curiosity, maybe both. The crowd parted. The Queen led him through tall gates into a palace of living stone. The walls pulsed faintly, almost as if the building itself was breathing. Strange symbols glowed along the halls, shifting like liquid light. He whispered under his breath, "This can't be real." The Queen stopped suddenly, her eyes flicking back at him. "It is real, more real than the world you left behind." Her words chilled him. He wanted to ask what she meant, but his throat felt dry. They entered a vast chamber. The ceiling arched, high, filled with carvings and glowing murals. The human's eyes widened. The murals showed humans not just one, but many, standing beside these aliens, fighting wars together, raising banners, even sitting on thrones. His heart pounded. No, that's impossible. Humans here? The Queen stepped closer to the murals, her silver fingers brushing against one. Not impossible. Forgotten. He shook his head. "I don't understand." The Queen's gaze was deep, almost sad. "Long ago, before your world forgot, humans were not alone. They walked the stars. They fought beside us, led beside us, ruled beside us." He stared at her in disbelief. "No, humans. We're not like this. We're weak. We don't have powers, or glowing eyes, or cities like this." The Queen turned slowly, her silver crown shining. "Yet you fought my beasts without training. Your body moved faster than you believed possible. Did you not feel it?" The human swallowed hard. He had felt it. In the arena earlier, his body reacted as if it remembered something his mind had forgotten, but he shook his head stubbornly. That was luck. The Queen's lips curved into a faint smile. "There is no such thing as luck." The human backed away, his voice sharp. "Why me? Why am I here? I'm just no one." The Queen's eyes softened, but her voice carried the weight of a secret older than both of them. "You are not no one. You carry blood that was never meant to fade, blood that ties you to us. The others forgot, but we did not." He froze. "Blood?" She nodded. "Your ancestors were part of this world, part of our line. That is why you are here. That is why you belong." The human shook his head wildly. His voice cracked. "No, no, I don't believe you." The Queen stepped closer, her presence overwhelming. She lowered her voice, so only he could hear. "Deny it all you want, but your body will remember. And when it does, the stars themselves will answer." The human's chest tightened. Her words were terrifying, yet something inside him stirred. A deep echo, like a locked door rattling in the dark corners of his mind. The Queen turned back to the murals. "You asked why you are here. The answer is simple. Because our time is ending, and yours is beginning." He blinked, confused. "Ending? What do you mean?" The Queen's eyes glowed brighter, but her face was grave. "An enemy comes, stronger than you can imagine. They do not fear us, but they will fear you." The human felt his knees weaken. "Me? I'm just—" Her voice cut through him like steel. "You are not just anything. You are the last spark of what was once fire. And that fire must burn again. The chamber fell silent. Only the glow of the murals lit their faces. Human clenched his fists, trying to steady his breath. He wanted to reject everything, the blood, the past, the destiny. But deep inside, he felt the truth clawing at him. For the first time, he wasn't sure if he really was just human anymore. And the Queen's whisper, soft but unshakable, followed him like a shadow. You do belong, and soon you will see why. The test of belonging, the human's head spun with the Queen's words. His blood, his past, his belonging, it all sounded like madness. He wanted to deny it, to walk away, but the Queen's eyes never left him. You still doubt, she said softly, almost like a challenge. I don't belong here, he snapped. His voice echoed in the great chamber, sharp and full of fear. I'm not one of you. I don't care about your stories or your bloodlines. The Queen tilted her head, her silver crown glowing faintly. Then prove it. The human froze. Prove it. She raised her hand. The doors of the chamber opened with a deep groan. Beyond them lay a massive arena carved into the heart of the city. Crowds gathered in silence, thousands of alien eyes glowing like stars in the dark. The air was heavy with tension, thick enough to crush his breath. The Queen walked forward, her cloak flowing behind her. If you truly do not belong, then you will fail. And if you fail, no one will question your words again. The human's chest tightened. And if I don't fail? Her silver eyes met his. Then you will know the truth. Before he could answer, guards pushed him into the center of the arena. The stone floor was cold beneath his feet. The crowd's whispers grew louder, blending into a haunting chorus. High above, the Queen raised her hand. A gate creaked open. From the shadows, something moved. The ground trembled. The first beast stepped into the light dot. It was enormous, twice the size of a bull, its body covered in thick armor plates that gleamed under the arena's glow. Its mouth dripped with glowing saliva, and its eyes burned red with hunger. The human staggered back, fear surging through him. You expect me to fight that? The Queen's voice carried across the arena. Belonging must be proven, not spoken. The beast roared, shaking the air. The crowd answered with a thunderous cheer. The human's legs trembled. He had no weapon, no armor, just his bare hands. He wanted to scream, to beg for mercy, but then something strange happened. The moment the beast charged, his body moved on its own. He dropped to the ground, rolling just as the beast's massive horn scraped the floor where he had stood. Dust exploded into the air. His heart raced, but his reflexes felt sharp, faster than he thought possible. He scrambled to his feet, panting. How did I do that? The beast turned, its claws raking the stone. It roared again and rushed forward. This time, the human leapt aside, with impossible speed, barely brushing past its armored flank. His hand touched its skin, and for a second, he felt a spark-like recognition. The crowd gasped. The Queen's lips curved into the faintest smile. The beast swung its tail, sending a shockwave across the arena. The human ducked low, his body bending with unnatural grace. He grabbed a broken piece of stone from the ground and hurled it. It struck the beast's eye, making it howl in rage. The crowd erupted. Some cheered. Some shouted in disbelief. Human stared at his own hands, shaking. His breath came heavy. This isn't possible, but it was happening. His body was faster, stronger, sharper than it had ever been. Instincts guided him, instincts that did not belong to the life he remembered. The beast lunged one final time, jaws wide. A human rolled under its neck and grabbed the shard of bone lying on the ground. With a desperate cry, he plunged it into the soft flesh beneath its armored throat. The beast collapsed with a thunderous crash. The arena floor shook, Silence fell. The human stood over the fallen creature, chest heaving, covered in dust and sweat. His hands trembled not from fear, but from the realization of what he had just done. The crowd erupted into cheers. The aliens stomped the ground, their glowing eyes blazing with respect not high above. The queen looked down, her silver crown shining brighter than before. "You see now?" She called out. "Your body remembers what your mind denies. This is not chance. This is who you are." The human fell to his knees, gasping. His thoughts spun like a storm. He wanted to scream that she was wrong, that he was still human, still ordinary. But deep inside, he knew the truth. He was not ordinary. Something inside him had awakened. In the queen's words, like a shadow, would not leave him. "You belong." Asterisk the revelation of blood. The human sat on the cold stone floor of the arena, chest heaving. His hands shook as he stared at the dead beast beside him. He had killed him, an ordinary man. But his mind refused to believe it. I shouldn't have been able to do that," he whispered. The queen's voice rose above the roar of the crowd. Calm, steady, unshakable. "Bring him to me." Guards approached, but they did not chain him. Instead, they bowed as if he were all ready. Something more than human. The crowd did not boo or jeer. Instead, their glowing eyes followed him with awe, with respect. He stumbled as they led him back through the palace gates. His body trembled, not from exhaustion, but from fear of himself. Inside the throne chamber, the queen waited. Her silver crown pulsed like a living flame. She studied him, her eyes deep as oceans. "You feel it now," she said softly. "You cannot deny it." The human shook his head. "No, it's not real. I'm not one of you. I'm just a man from Earth." The queen's smile was faint, but her voice was heavy with truth. "Then let me show you." She motioned, and the walls of the chamber shifted. Panels of living stone slid open, revealing a hidden chamber. The air was cold, heavy with age. He followed her inside. Uneasy. The room was lined with tall crystal pillars, each one glowing with faint light. Within them, images flickered, faces of humans, long dead, their eyes fierce and proud. His breath caught. "Humans," the queen nodded. "Your kind stood here before. Not one, not a handful. Thousands. They were not visitors. They were rulers, warriors, leaders of this world." He shook his head violently. "That's impossible. Humanity never left Earth until recently." Her eyes glowed brighter. "That is the lie your people live. You are not the first to walk the stars. You were the last to forget." The words hit him like a blade. His knees weakened. "Forget?" The queen stepped close, her silver hand reaching out, gently resting against his arm. Her touch was warm, almost human. "Your blood remembers, even if your mind does not. That is why you fought as you did. It is not new strength. It is old strength rising again." The human pulled back, shaking. "You're saying I'm one of you?" "No, that can't be true." The queen's gaze was sharp, her voice unyielding. "You are not one of us. You are both. Human, yes, but not only human. Long ago, when our kind joined with yours, a bond was made. Your bloodline carries it still." He froze. "My bloodline?" She nodded. "It survived in secret, hidden, across centuries, waiting for this moment. You are the proof. The last thread of a chain that began long before your Earth built its first city." His heart pounded. He wanted to deny it, to scream that it was madness. Yet deep inside, a memory stirred, not a memory he had lived, but one carried in his bones, a flash of war, of fire, of standing side by side with beings like her. He staggered back. "No, I'm not chosen. I'm not special." The queen's voice softened, but her words carried a weight that crushed him. You may deny it, but the stars do not. Your body answers when danger comes. Your blood awakens when tested. This is the truth of what you are, and soon all will see it. He shook his head, his voice breaking. Why me? Why now? Her silver eyes darkened, heavy with sorrow. Because our time is ending. A shadow rises across the stars, and only you can bring light again. You are not here by chance, human. You are here because destiny pulled you back to where you began. The chamber grew silent. The crystals around them pulsed slowly, like beating hearts. The human sank to his knees, hands clutching his head. His world was shattering piece by piece. Everything he believed about humanity, about himself, was slipping away. The queen bent down, her whisper close to his ear. You said you do not belong, but your blood says otherwise. And blood does not lie. Her words cut deep, carving fear and fire into his soul. For the first time, he wasn't afraid of the aliens around him. He was afraid of himself. Asterisk. The choice of loyalty. The human sat in silence long after the queen's words had faded. His hands pressed against the cold stone floor, his chest heavy with confusion. He wanted to deny everything, to run, but every breath reminded him of the foe. Beast he had killed, and the way his body had moved, as if it remembered a life he never lived. Finally, he looked up. Why me? Why not them? Why not one of your own people? The queen stood tall, her silver crown glowing faintly in the dim. Light, because they would follow me? But they will only believe in hope if they see it rise from you. The words shook him. Hope? I'm no leader. I'm not a hero. Her gaze was steady, unblinking. Not yet, but you can be. Before he could answer, the great doors of the chamber swung open. A tall alien guard entered, his armor scorched, his face grim. He bowed before the queen. They have come, he said in a low, trembling voice. The queen's expression hardened. She turned to the human. The enemy is near. The guard continued. Their ships have been seen at the edge of our skies. The people are afraid. The queen dismissed him with a nod, then faced the human again. Now you see why you are here. This is no accident. The bloodline awakens when the stars are in. Danger. The human's stomach twisted. You want me to fight? To lead? Her silver eyes softened, but her voice carried the weight of command. I want you to choose. You may walk away. Return to your Earth. Forget this place. Forget us. Live as you always have. He swallowed hard, his throat dry. And if I stay? Her. Words dropped like stones in water. Then you fight. With us. For us. For yourself. The human's heart pounded. His mind screamed to go home, to escape this nightmare. But another voice inside whispered that he could not. Not after what he had seen. Not after what he had done. You're asking me to risk my life for people I don't even know, he said quietly. The queen stepped closer, her presence filling the room. You say you don't know us, but you do. Our blood is your blood. Our past is your past. If we fall, a piece of you falls with us. He looked into her silver eyes, searching for lies. But he found only truth-heavy, ancient truth that scared him more than any beast. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence pressed like a storm waiting to break. Finally, he whispered, What if I fail? The queen placed her hand lightly over his heart. Then you fail with honor. But if you fight, you may save us all. The words burned in him. He wanted to say no. He wanted to walk away. But behind his fear was something else, a spark. A spark that had ignited in the arena when the beast fell. A spark that refused to die. The queen straightened, her voice strong. Enough for all the chamber to hear. The time has come. You must choose. The human closed his eyes. Images flashed in his mind. The beast's red eyes, the cheering crowd, the glowing murals of humans long forgotten. And then the queen's whisper, "You do belong." When he opened his eyes, his voice was steady. "If I stay, I fight." The queen's lips curved into the smallest smile, one that carried both pride and sorrow. "Then you have chosen." The chamber shook suddenly, dust falling from the ceiling. The guard rushed back inside, his voice urgent. "The enemy fleet has broken through. Their ships darken the skies." The human's chest tightened. The choice was no longer distant. It was here now. The queen turned to him, her silver eyes blazing. "Then stand with us, human. Show them who you are." The crowd outside began to roar, their voices rising like thunder as the sound of alien war horns echoed through the city. The human clenched his fists, fear and fire burning inside. Him. For the first time, he did not feel like a prisoner. He felt like a soldier standing at the edge of war. And deep inside, his blood pulsed with a single truth. He had chosen to stay. He had chosen to fight. Asterisk, the whisper of belonging the sky burned. Red dot from the walls of the alien city. The humans saw them, massive enemy warships sliding across the horizon like shadows made of steel. Their weapons glowed, ready to strike. The air trembled with their power. The alien people filled the streets below, their glowing eyes turned upward. Some trembled in fear, some whispered prayers, but all of them looked toward the queen, and toward him. The human's chest tightened. He could feel their eyes, heavy with expectation. He was no general, no warrior, just one man. And yet they waited for him to speak, to move, to lead. The queen stepped beside him, her silver cloak flowing in the hot wind. "Do you see now? They are not waiting for me. They are waiting for you." He swallowed hard. His heart pounded. "I don't know how to lead them." The queen's eyes glowed like twin stars. She leaned close and whispered, "You already have." The words sank deep into him. He remembered the arena, the beast falling at his feet, the roar of the crowd. He remembered the way their fear had turned to hope. Maybe he hadn't chosen this, but it had chosen him. The ground shook as the first enemy blast struck the city walls. Stone shattered, sparks rained down. The people screamed. The queen's voice rang out, steady as steel. "Stand with him. Stand with us." The roar of the crowd answered. Alien warriors raised their weapons, their eyes blazing. The air filled with the sound of drums and war horns, deep and thunderous. The human felt his fear twisting into something else. Fire. He grabbed a fallen alien blade from the wall, its surface glowing faintly in his hands. It was heavy, but it felt right. The queen looked at him one last time. "Do you understand now? Why you are here?" His grip tightened on the blade. He met her eyes. For the first time, his voice was steady. "Yes, I belong here." The queen's smile was soft, almost proud. "Then lead." The skies split open as enemy troops descended, creatures armored in black, their weapons glowing like fire. They swarmed across the broken walls, hissing, roaring. The human stepped forward, the crowd parting around him. He raised the glowing blade high, his voice rising over the chaos. "Fight with me," he shouted, "for your queen, for your people, for our world." The roar that answered shook the ground. Warriors surged forward, following him as if they had been waiting all their lives for this moment. The first enemy soldier lunged at him. The human's body moved faster than thought. His blade cut through the air, striking true. The enemy fell, its black armor cracking. A surge of power rushed through him. His instincts guided every step, every strike. It was as if the blood in his veins had finally woken up. The queen's voice carried above the battle. "Do you see now? You are not only human, You are ours. The human fought harder, every swing of his blade echoing with the fire of a forgotten past. Around him, the alien warriors rallied, their fear replaced by courage. The enemy forces pressed harder, their ships firing blast after blast. The city shook, but the defenders held Dot at the center of it all. The humans stood one man, yet more than a man. Every strike, every cry pulled the warriors closer, united them. He was not fighting alone. He was fighting with them. Hours felt like minutes as the battle raged. The sky was filled with fire, the ground with smoke and blood. But the enemy, so sure of their victory, began to falter. And then, as the sun broke through the clouds, enemy fleet pulled back, their ships retreating into the dark. The city stood battered, broken, but not fallen. The human lowered his blade, his body shaking, covered in dust and blood. He looked around at the people, his people now. Their glowing eyes looked back, filled with pride, filled with something he had not seen before. Belief. The queen stepped beside him, her silver eyes shining. She spoke softly, so only he could hear. You said you did not belong. But look at them. Look at yourself. He stared at the warriors bowing before him, at the people cheering his name. His heart, heavy for so long, felt strangely light. He whispered back, voice trembling but sure, I do belong. The queen smiled, a smile that carried both relief and promise. Yes, she said, you always did. And as the city roared, with victory, the human knew that his life would never return to what it once was, because he was no longer just a man from Earth. He was something more. He was one of them. Asterisk.